up on AgweekTV. The North Dakota legislature considers loosening the state's anti-corporate farming laws. Some ag groups are challenging the new Waters of the U.S. rule set to take effect next month. We'll visit a North Dakota seed stock operation on our AgWeek Livestock tour. Also on our tour, we visit a Minnesota man who's retrofitted half his barn to raise rabbits. And we'll tell you about a Nebraska company that's leading the charge in helping farmers finally be able to use drones to apply chemicals on their fields. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. North Dakota lawmakers are considering a controversial bill to loosen the state's corporate farming law, but opponents say it could bring unwanted changes to the state. Supporters of the bill to loosen restrictions say it's too hard to raise the capital needed to start a large livestock operation in a state that's already well behind its neighbors in animal agriculture. But detractors say the bill opens up the state to foreign-owned corporations that don't care about family farms or small towns. The bill would make it easier for corporations to operate dairies and feedlots because they wouldn't have to comply with the state's limits of farmland ownership. Governor Doug Burgum testified in support of the bill to the House Ag Committee. He's a partner in a cow-calf ranch in Slope County. He says the cows are sent out of state when they're weaned because there aren't enough feedlots in North Dakota. He says the current law limits family farms' growth.
I see small towns in South Dakota and Minnesota that are thriving, that are growing, that have population, their schools are growing, and really the data is so irrefutable that the difference between what's going on our side of the border and on their side of the border, you don't have to go any further than Fairmont, North Dakota. There are 10,000 head dairy firms just inside Minnesota and just inside South Dakota, not in North Dakota, because of our archaic laws that we have that would prevent that opportunity.
Darrell Lies, president of the North Dakota Farm Bureau, also testified in favor of the bill. In fact, he says it doesn't go far enough in supporting the growth of ag businesses. President of the North Dakota Farmers Union, Mark Watney, testified against the bill, saying the state already has more livestock than it can process. The new Waters of the U.S. rule is set to take effect last month, but some farm groups are trying to stop it. The American Farm Bureau Federation and several agriculture and industry groups are suing the EPA over its latest interpretation of the Waters of the U.S. definition. The EPA announced its revised WOTUS definition in December, ahead of an expected Supreme Court ruling. The rule, which defines what waters are covered by the Federal Clean Water Act, takes effect March 20th. There are some exemptions, including stock ponds, but the lawsuit says the vagueness of the rule will mean costly and unpredictable case-by-case determinations by landowners, the EPA, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
These are all new terms that weren't discussed in the proposed rule, haven't been used before. So I think the agencies really missed a chance to use some bright line rules and definitions and have given us just more things that are undefined and haven't been commented on or fully vetted.
Farm Bureau is hoping the court will stop the rule before it takes effect. For years, some farmers have looked forward to the day when they can use a drone to aerially apply farm chemicals to entire fields themselves. As Mikkel Pates reports in this Ag Week cover story, that day has come.
In the future, this is the way it's going.
John Deball used a drone in 2022 to spray plots on 150 acres on his farm near Henderson, Minnesota. He applied fungicide and seeded cover crops. He says drones offer many advantages.
When I need it put on, I can do it myself when I want, how I want. I can do test plots, I can do trial plots for myself so I know, make sure it's working correctly.
Deball bought his drone from Volatile Technology Solutions. Co-owner Kevin Knorr of Dunbar, Nebraska says that just in the past 18 months, Volatile has sold hundreds of larger payload drones to Midwest farmers.
We really felt like the drones were going to grow and we wanted to grow with them.
The new high-capacity drones made by the Chinese company DJI cost between $25,000 and $31,000, ready to fly. They can lift up to 10.5 gallons with a total takeoff weight of 212 pounds. They are autonomous and can be sent out up to 3/4 of a mile and back to spray 5 acres in 8 minutes, returning for a refill and a change out with fresh batteries.
We have the capability of delivering in that fungicide application of about 2 gallons an acre full field applications, more in that quarter section or half sections at a time.
The drones fly 8 to 12 feet above the crop canopy. The nozzles are centrifugal, basically applying a rotary effect which allows the chemicals to penetrate the crop foliage.
And then it also moves the crop canopy so that you're getting coverage on all growing surfaces of the plant. And that's really what we think is the value of the drone.
NOR believes that within 5 years, most growers will be using drones as they offer multiple benefits. They can take the place of several pieces of equipment and leave no compaction in fields. Jamie Von Eye, who farms with his family near Coleman, South Dakota, is impressed with what he's seeing. One of these large capacity drones can spray a whole quarter in 4 hours.
It's interesting to see that you could obviously go and spray some of your fields. I never knew that they were quite this big or quite, they could do so much. So you could apparently send your kids out to spray your field these days with the drone. The moon's the limit, I guess.
In Sioux Falls, South Dakota, this is Mikkel Pates for AgWeek.
You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Farmers looking for winter hardy cover crop to plant in the fall may want to consider rye for soil health. Less than 5% of farmers use winter cereal crops for soybeans and corn, but experts say rye works well with those crops. It grows very fast in the spring, producing residue which improves the soil and prevents erosion. Agronomy field specialist David Karkey says rye is also a good crop for coverage and helps manage soil moisture.
Planting cover crops will make your system more diverse and more tolerable to various fluctuation, especially weather fluctuation these days.
Karkey says farmers in some parts of the country plant rye because it competes with difficult weeds like palmer amaranth. Perennial flax has the potential to be good for the heart and the soil. It's a close relative to the annual flax varieties, but like alfalfa, it could produce a crop for multiple years. Lewis flax is native to the western U.S., including the western Dakotas. Researchers at North Dakota State University and the USDA are working to see if a particular variety of Lewis flax has the potential to be a useful crop, especially on marginal acres. USDA researcher Brent Halkey says the crop's deep root system could improve soil, but he also says it's very good for human health.
It's a very unique product. It's high in omega-3 fats, which are critical for the human diet, and they're very hard to get in most of our crops.
Omega-3 fat is usually associated with fish oil. In addition to heart health, benefits include lowering the risk of dementia and some forms of cancer. Up next on AgWeek TV, as our livestock tour continues, a North Dakota woman prepares to take over her family's ranch.
Looking to add non-GMO conventional and organic soybeans to your rotation this year? Soyco International out of Gary, Minnesota is looking for new farmer contracts for the 2023 season. They have proven marketing strategies, partnered with local agronomy expertise to work alongside and provide the certified seeds needed for their contract growers. Soyco International is offering premium prices to boost your operations' bottom line. Reach out to Sean Young today at 218-350-3863 to answer any questions.
Farming is more than just work. It's your way of life. Protecting your family's legacy is our way of life. Through challenges and successes, we understand your family's insurance needs. With every turn of the wheel, for every investment, through every season, generation after generation, Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
As we approach the end of the 2022 crop year, it's time to assess which decisions were good and which ones were not. Producers will go through cropping practices and evaluate their performance and make their adjustments the following year. Do you do the same with your risk management strategy? Did your crop insurance levels give you the coverage and protection you needed for the year? Were you able to respond to the market opportunities when they became available? If your risk management approach needs a little attention, the professionals at Martinson Ag can help you. We give you straightforward analysis that helps you make the best decisions for your operation.
Every season has an end. After spending your whole life building something, it can be hard to move on to your next stage in life. But when that time comes, you deserve to have someone you trust guide you through the process. And by trusting us to pass on your legacy, it gives someone else the chance to create their own. Every auction has a story. Let us share yours.
The AgWeek Livestock Tour is sponsored by Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, 701X Autonomous Rancher, and Stockman's Livestock Exchange.
This week, our livestock tour takes us to South Central North Dakota. I visited TNT Simmental Ranch and Lair, where they specialize in selling premium seed stock genetics to cattlemen.
And I've always helped them with the catalog and the bull prep since I was little.
Shannon Erbely grew up on her family's ranch in Elmont, North Dakota, working alongside her father, Kevin Thompson. She had a deep passion for the cattle industry at an early age, and it just kept growing.
I grew up on the ranch, and I just have an extreme passion for cattle and loved helping out my dad, and I was always the kid that was in his back pocket and following him everywhere he went so I could learn more about the cattle.
Shannon and her husband Gabriel have slowly started taking over the reins of TNT Simmentals from Shannon's parents. At their operation, they focus on offering premier seed stock genetics to their customers, with a combined 500 head of cattle calving out at their two locations. Kevin started TNT Simmentals nearly 4 decades ago from scratch. Their operation went through the 80s farm crisis and other hardships, but he believes he is passing the ranch over to more than capable hands.
We couldn't be prouder that they're wanting to do what they're doing. They're doing an excellent job and have a real eye for cattle. And you know, one of the biggest things to be successful in this business is you need to treat people the way you'd like to be treated. And I can tell that's what they're doing.
Shannon's taken her new role in stride during the transition and wears many hats. She does the video work, picturing, and other important tasks that need to be done for a successful bull sale.
I do all that behind the scenes stuff, as well as I just have the passion for the cattle to visit with the customers and help them find what they really, really want in a bull that will help their program. So.
TNT Simmental Ranch will be hosting their 38th annual sale in Lair, North Dakota on February 10th. This is the first time the sale will be held on Shannon and her husband's property. They'll be selling around 100 bulls. The increasing number of cattle being slaughtered was a big talking point at the recent Cow-Calf Days tour across Minnesota. The U.S. inventory of cattle expected to drop by 2% in 2022, or about 60,000. But according to Eric Mosel from University of Minnesota Extension, the U.S. cow herd actually dropped by 4% in the last year. Drought made many producers make the difficult decision to decrease their herds or liquidate entirely. He says while lowering population numbers would normally help the cattle market, that hasn't happened yet.
So there's a lot of cows disappearing from the country. Okay. Normally, from a market standpoint, that would be pretty positive. Okay, and I expect eventually it's going to be, but we're not. We're just kind of right on the front end of that.
Mosel also predicts the feeder cattle population will be down 6 to 7%. Ahead on AgweekTV, what does the 2023 weather outlook hold? We'll talk with an expert.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
Farming is more than just work. It's your way of life. Protecting your family's legacy is our way of life. Through challenges and successes, we understand your family's insurance needs. With every turn of the wheel, for every investment, through every season, generation after generation, Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Since the inception of Vaterstadt, the spirit of innovation has led the company. We push the limits, providing innovative and reliable seeding and tillage solutions that simplify everyday life for farmers. We continue to reimagine the capabilities and technology behind farm machinery, providing customers with a perfect emergence while maximizing their yields. We look forward to growing together.
Improve the profitability of your ranch by partnering with Top Herefords. Attend the Bull Sale February 10th, 2023 at the ranch, Grace City, North Dakota. When you buy a Top Herefords bull, you're getting top-of-the-line genetics and benefits of marketing your feeder cattle and replacement quality heifers direct. It's a common-sense approach to greater profits on your ranch. View the 2023 catalog at topherefords.com and join us at the Bull Sale February 10th, 2023 at 1 p.m.
The team at North Star Ag is committed to quality and committed to you. We're not just a full-service dealer, we're farmers too, so we know you need the best machinery and services that'll keep you going all season long. We have the largest equipment inventory in the upper Midwest with a well-equipped parts and service department. So whether you need machinery tomorrow or parts today, stop in and experience what North Star Ag can offer on our website at northstar-ag.com or give us a call at 701-361-4790.
The AgriWeather Outlook is sponsored by Excalia Fungicide from Valent USA.
Could warmer weather finally be headed our way? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
Minor confession to begin with. Last week's forecast had the cold weather of the first week exactly correct, but the second week, instead of lingering cold, well, we're going to move into some milder weather as the bitter cold is retreating. I'll explain what's going on with that. The other thing that's going on, the dry winter weather, Northern Plains and Great Lakes area will, for the most part, continue. Not to say there won't be any snow or precipitation, it just will not be significant. We've just had a dry go of things over the far northern tier of states really since Christmas. The stormy weather in the U.S. will continue to be the southwest California, the Pacific coast largely getting a bit of a break as we go into a little bit of a different weather pattern. Jet stream is meandering from west to east as it does. We've cooled things down a little bit in the south. We've also warmed things up greatly as the really frigid weather this weekend has retreated back up to about Hudson Bay. It's not going to be that much of a melt, though. Places like eastern North Dakota, northern Minnesota may get a day or two this week where it pops up above 32 for a few hours in the afternoon or a day or so, but it's likely to generally stay below freezing. Western Dakotas will have a little more warmth, especially western South Dakota. The Rockies, of course, remain cold, and as is common this time of year, the southeastern part of the country, warm air and humid air will surge northward periodically out of the Gulf, and then will be replaced by not Arctic air, but some cold weather as fronts pass through, and these can still produce some scattered frost, at least at night, even all the way down perhaps as far as near the Gulf Coast. As we head into the second week, I do expect cold weather to begin returning. Now we're talking the middle of February. This frigid weather will not be the kind of cold that we had at the end of January, but it will be fairly cold, I expect, and generally freezing weather will persist across the northern part of the U.S. The south will be nothing but cool to mild, and really the only really warm places consistently are the far southwest and southern parts of Florida. As far as precipitation goes this week, not much for the middle part of the country at all. Anything that falls will be nuisance amounts, maybe some drizzle. Of course, with the temperatures, yeah, there could be some freezing drizzle or some flurries or that type of thing, but it would be in small doses, of course, right? There will be at least one East Coast weather system that will bring rain surprisingly far north into the Middle West and snows primarily Quebec, Southeast Ontario, and parts of New England. The Rocky Mountains northern parts will be getting some snow, but but for the most part, the west is looking dry for the next couple of weeks. California missing out after what was a very rainy middle of the winter. They're going dry. There will be a continuation of this precipitation pattern along the eastern seaboard and the middle part of the United States. South to north will continue to be primarily dry.
Looking to add non-GMO conventional and organic soybeans to your rotation this year? Soyco International out of Gary, Minnesota is looking for new farmer contracts for the 2023 season. They have proven marketing strategies, partnered with local agronomy expertise to work alongside and provide the certified seeds needed for their contract growers. Soyco International is offering premium prices to boost your operations' bottom line. Reach out to Sean Young today at 218-350-3863 to answer any questions.
Since the inception of Vaderstadt, the spirit of innovation has led the company. We push the limits, providing innovative and reliable seeding and tillage solutions that simplify everyday life for farmers. We continue to reimagine the capabilities and technology behind farm machinery, providing customers with a perfect emergence while maximizing their yields. We look forward to growing together.
Don't miss out on the equipment you'll need next season. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer, has early order discounts on its full line of powerful, efficient, new Case IH equipment, including tractors, combines, and self-propelled sprayers. Get a great deal and ensure that you have the latest in productivity and technology. Supply chains are tight. Contact your Titan Machinery dealership today and find out how much you can save by ordering ahead. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH equipment experts.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
For AgWeek, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for watching AgWeek TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Joining me now is meteorologist John Baranek to talk about the 2023 weather outlook. So John, what can farmers expect to see as we head into 2023?
Yeah, well, one of the big things here is La Nina. We've been talking about it for years, honestly. We're finally going to get rid of it. So we're headed into some neutral conditions in the Pacific Ocean right now over the next couple of months, and then we may be headed towards an El Nino by the time we get into the late summer. That means we're headed towards, La Nina has a huge impact on our weather conditions. When it's in the neutral phase, we lose that. So a lot of things can happen. There's a lot of variability that goes on, but at least we're headed towards what looks to be a normal summer.
About a couple years ago, we experienced a devastating drought in the region, followed by a lot of rain. As we head into 2023, do you think we're going to escape some of that, have a more neutral year?
Well, this year it hasn't actually turned out to be like that either. I mean, we kind of had both. We had a really cold December, but we also was pretty wet. We had a couple of blizzards that moved through the region. We've already had, due to those earlier blizzards and everything, some pretty decent snowpack across much of the area. There's parts of Montana and up into the Canadian prairies that haven't had as much, but for the most part, we're sitting in a pretty good spot in terms of soil moisture and snowpack. And once we finally get out of this and we get into the springtime, we start seeing that melt. I think a lot of the areas are going to be pretty happy with their soil moisture situation.
Is there anything specific farmers should look out for in terms of weather this year?
Yes, really it's going to come down to how quickly we can melt off that snowpack. If we do it too quickly all at once, that's not good for anybody. And if it's like last year where it was really delayed and we didn't get rid of it until May and even June, we were still dealing with some wetness across especially the Red River Valley. We could have some issues there with planting. Outside of that though, I mean, the soil moisture should be there, so we should be set up in a good spot here coming towards summer.
Thank you so much for your insight. Meteorologist John Baranek. Up next on AgWeek TV, we'll meet a rancher with a unique hobby. He raises New Zealand rabbits known for their meat.
Attention farmers and ranchers. Do you have a clear understanding of carbon? North Dakota Farmers Union is hosting the Evolution Ag Summit, a one-day event focused on helping farmers and ranchers understand how carbon reduction may impact their operation. Speakers will focus on supply chain commitments, renewable fuels, and carbon sequestration. Join us in Jamestown on February 21st. To register, go to ndfu.org and click on Evolution Ag.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
Grain Handling Direct presents How to Purchase Grain Storage Solutions in Your Bathrobe. First, go to grainhandlingdirect.com, browse our products, check prices, and add your selection to a cart. You can place your order online or call our customer service reps with any questions. We'll route your order to the manufacturer and ship it directly to your front door. grainhandlingdirect.com. Direct and simple to save you money.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
Go beyond the headlines with an AgWeek membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to AgWeek and AgweekTV.
It's not a traditional livestock operation, but it keeps Perry Cuperus hopping. Cuperus raises rabbits at his farm near Sabika, Minnesota. His family raised rabbits in Michigan when he was growing up, and at the peak had 1,000. After a stint in the Navy bees that took him around the world, Cuperus decided to start raising rabbits again, along with cattle and chickens. Raising rabbits is not very lucrative, so he considers it more of a hobby. He's retrofitted half his barn for rabbits, and he has about 225 of them. These are New Zealand rabbits, and they're known for their meat.
And rabbit meat is 20.2 to 20.8% protein. That's the highest of all the domestic meats. So you're getting, and it's the lowest in, probably about the lowest in fat.
Although they still raise rabbits and chickens, they rent their cattle grand out to another producer. Stories you'll only see on AgWeek.com and in AgWeek magazine this week. As part of the request from Governor Tim Walz, the Minnesota Department of Ag budget is seeking a fee increase of 25 cents on every ton of fertilizer sold. And the American Sugar Beet Growers Association has honored a North Dakota farmer who died in November as the 2022 Sugar Beet Producer of the Year. We appreciate you watching AgWeek TV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.